My name's Hannah. I am a graduate candidate manager working on the graduate team, which means I help high calibre graduate candidates find permanent roles. We do recruitment for ad hoc roles and also graduate schemes as well. I would like to have a chat about assessment centres. They're usually the final stage of an assessment for a graduate scheme. Assessment centres are usually about 12 candidates, 10 to 12 candidates who are invited in for half a day or up to a full day, and you're asked to rotate through different kind of assessment exercises, and you'll be marked on each piece. Assessment centres will almost always consist of online testing. It's usually verbal reasoning and numerical testing. The key with online testing is practice, practice, practice. So you will need to go onto websites like SHL, Connexa or Qubit and just spend a lot of time practicing, especially in the areas that you're not as strong in. So if maths is your forte, it's worth kind of going and really repeating the verbal reasoning tests and making sure that you're excellent at those. The other online exercise that's quite common these days is the e-tray exercise. The offline version of an e-tray exercise is the in-tray exercise. These are designed to test your ability to work under pressure. Competency interviewing is something that always comes up in graduate assessment. Competency interviews are usually asking you to give an example from either your extracurricular, academic or commercial background and talk through a time when you've demonstrated a specific competency. So common ones are leadership, teamwork, influencing key stakeholders, judgment, drive. The idea is you will reflect on a time where you have demonstrated that particular competency and achieved a successful result. You may be asked to do a presentation. It could be that you are asked to read a document, come up with some sort of conclusion and present back. Presentations are hard to prepare for beforehand because they will usually give you the brief there and then. So just practice presenting. Remember things like speaking slowly, speaking clearly, maintaining eye contact and really engaging with your assessors. Another common assessment exercise is a group exercise where you're divided into groups of 3 or 4. You might be given a particular problem and you will be asked to kind of talk through recommendations and solutions in a group. You won't really be assessed on the outcome or the conclusion that the group reaches. It will be more how you interact with other group members. So remember that at all times. The most important thing to remember about assessment centres would be if a particular exercise throws you or you feel you don't do so well, don't worry. Every assessment piece is assessed individually. So if perhaps you fall down in, say, the group exercise, you do have the competency interview, the case study, the presentation to redeem yourself. So at the end of the day, if they kind of sit down and say, how do you think you went? This is a chance for you to really talk through honestly kind of areas that you think you did well in, areas that you didn't do so well in. And usually that is being assessed as well, so keep that in mind.